Hey guys, this is Captain Hydrus here, and today we're going to be covering the final level in the beginner route for LSW1 80%, and that is going to be Darth Maul. It's definitely a hard stage still if you don't do the beginning skip, but I'm going to be showing both just for clarity. Two things I like to mention. If you get DM1 first try, which means you get it fast, I'd say it saves like 40 seconds over the boss fight. If you keep failing it for like 40 seconds and still don't get it, do the boss fight. In this beginning transition, switch to player 2. DM1 involves using some extended collision under the slamp to clip under it and get to the top. Then you curve a double jump towards the top right to get to the other side. This actually skips all phases of the fight and lets you go straight to the next room. Now, how do you do it? The main thing is that you have to curve a double jump from about here, and you want to make sure you hit the collision under the lamp and spam A. If you kind of jump to the side like that, it means you're not quite to the bottom and you're too far left or right. The piece of collision that will actually let you get on top of the lamp is more towards the bottom. If you don't clip onto the lamp like this, just keep going and you'll eventually get in that straight patch. And if you stay on the lamp for long enough, you will actually respawn on top, and this is good as you don't have to do the jump again. So when you're actually clipped on the lamp, be sure to stand still so the game recognizes that you're on top. You can also get on top of this from the side, kind of like what happened there. It requires a bit more finesse, and I wouldn't really recommend it. Once you're on top, it is very important that you line yourself up so you get as much walking distance as possible off. Start off like up right. This will make you face away from the lamp, making it easier to gain more distance off. Then, when you have flicked up right, curve up left, and then delay double jump. Your goal is you want to get on the right side of the sledge, like the little corner. Like that. If you didn't make the gap, it means that you didn't delay your double jump enough. You don't have to jump from that, it's optional. Try to do desync double jumps there to avoid the blaster fire. Don't do the boss fight, it's pretty simple. Just pull your lightsaber, stand about here. This kind of works the same as Jedi Val, in that deflections are important, but it's a lot easier to time because you only have to press B one at a time usually. The blaster bolts will come at random intervals, so just be aware of that. That last guy. The directions he's going to take here is right, left, right. The barrel he's going to throw, it comes by pretty fast, but you can force it about halfway through the throwing animation. Press X about now. Same thing here. Obviously, that was a bit more advanced. That was a 2 cycle. You can get a 1 cycle there with 1P2C. It's a bit hard because the laser bolt intervals are random. I wouldn't really go for it unless you're doing like a co-op run and you practice it. Don't mash force in that barrel, by the way. The barrel will actually lose speed and explode. Hold the force button. Sheath your lightsaber so you can start forcing the bridge. There's a small trick you can do here with the bridge where you kind of go on top like that, and you want the top of the bridge to be in the same level as your forehead, and then you can jump to the top right and the bridge will actually push you forward. That doesn't really save much time, maybe a couple of seconds at most, so if you die doing it, just force the bridge and go as normal. This transition, switch to Obi-Wan, do a little corner cut here. A corner cut to get onto this. If you're not careful, Maul will push you off. These platforms can be weird. A good visual cue to play it safe is when you see the entirety of the blue square, you can do a double jump. Sorry about now. You can also force them all the way out if you want, but that takes a lot longer. The visual cue for the blue square is a good practice method for timing your double jumps. There's 2 strats you can do for the beginning of DM3. You can either use a glitch called Invincibility Glitch. In TCS, they call this Ghost Hearts. This is the easiest spot in the game to do the glitch. All you need to do is drop in player 2. Line up player 1 to this white square on the left wall. That's where the transition begins for DM3. And you want to enter this transition right as player 2 dies. So as soon as he disappears off screen. And if you do it right, player 2 should have transparent hearts, kind of like this. And there we go. The effects of this glitch will persist through dropouts, like so, but it will disappear as soon as you switch. Be sure not to switch, and you can keep it for the rest of Darth Maul. Pretty easy, beginner-friendly strat. And obviously, if you have player 2 with Ghost Hearts, you want to be using him for almost the rest of this, as you'll have a lower chance of dying. This cutscene actually extends vertically, not necessarily horizontally, so don't go on the left. Go towards the center, and then do a jump slash. Here, player 1's going to spawn on the left, and player 2 is going to spawn on the right. Discussing 2 different routes before I start this. Now, on only the GameCube version of the game, the left Trideca that's going to spawn here in the front is not fully on the button, so the optimal route to take is left, then right. On every other platform, which is an earlier build of the game, you want to go right, then left, and kill both Droidekas. The commander strats here are going to work on either side. It's just the Droideka strats that are going to differ. Depending on which direction you want to go in that walkway. Don't kill any of these droids. If you do, they're going to respawn. You can do a tiny bit of zigzags while you're jumping, just so you can desync their blaster shots. As soon as you get to the first white rectangle on this part of the walkway, you want to force this droid commander. You can do 2 jump slashes, but that loses half a second compared to forcing. So I would recommend just doing the force, as it's easier. Sometimes you'll get shot there. That usually means that you started forcing too late. And most of the time, if you don't have invincibility glitch in this room, you will die. DM3, very common to have 2 to 3 deaths, so don't worry. Again, kind of keep to the side here. I like to do a jump there just so he reacts to shooting me a little bit later. And then, when we kill both of the commanders, we can now start killing all the droids. And usually there's a few stragglers ahead of this pack, so I like to do jump slashes to one of them, do a jump stab, kill the last one. Before this cutscene starts, try to be as near to the circular platform as possible. We're going to be discussing Droideka strats now. Kind of notice there, he's on the button. For the GameCube strats on Droideka, start a jump stab from the right here. If you do the jump stab too late, your jump stab will actually curve off of the Droideka shield and you will fall, which does waste about 2 to 3 seconds. If you time it right, you won't fall off. Killing the Droideka, you can either do a lightsaber combo or do 3 jump slashes. They pretty much go even. Pass over this button so the AI knows to go on that platform. Call him player 2. Go on both buttons like that. You can go to that platform as player 1 or 2, depending on who has more health. I just like to do it as player 1 because he's usually distracted with player 2, and he won't shoot me most of the time. When you are on that platform, drop out player 2. And continue your way to the hallway. Okay, so now we're at the other end of this strat change. And the only difference is you'll actually have more room here to do the jump stab, which is nice. For the left one. Call him player 2. That's a bit harder to call in player 2 there. If he jumps back, no worries. This room has 2 different strategies that you could use as a beginner. There's a transition skip, where you just skip forcing this entire hallway. That is unfortunately slower than 2P levers, which is where you force all the levers with both players dropped in. I'm going to show an easier variant for barrier skip. Only use this if you are having trouble with 2P levers. Drop in player 1, where you want the player's feet to be on this gray square. Do a jump slash out. Drop him in, drop player 2 out. Now you're out of bounds, and as soon as you go past this floor, flick up, then down. You should be underground. Sometimes you'll reload DM3, I don't know why that happens, but if it does, just do the transition skip again. You can also do push transition skip, but I found most people kind of struggle with that. The drop out, drop in transition skip method only loses about 1 second to a good push. I like seeing my AI above the floor. Once you're past this final gate, jump up, jump into the transition. You need to be in front of the transition, not behind it to load that room. This method only loses about 4 seconds to a drop in, drop out transition skip, and 3 seconds to a push transition skip. To start, go to the right here is player 1, force this. If you force too early, you'll just force that stud thing, so just be careful. Wait till this red barrier goes down, and then drop in player 2. Move both players forward. As soon as both of those disappear, like forcing these things, as soon as you pass that, press X. Keep going. Same thing, use that visual cue. Pull out the lightsaber of the character that you're going to use to slash Maul in the beginning of the next room. You can either drop out player 1 or 2 here, or at the beginning of the next room. I like to do it at the beginning of the next room. Sets up a nice timing window to get the first cycle slashes. You can get 2 jump slashes on Maul here if you wait at least 2 to 3 seconds. You can usually tell this when he's running towards you. If you try to attack him too early, he will jump away, wasting a decent amount of time. So just wait. When his head stops rearing back, you can do another jump slash. He's going to jump away, go to this square in the floor, wait till you hear that whoosh sound of his jump, and then buffer a jump stab. This will hit him on the first frame. He is not invulnerable. Again, go 2 squares, go to here. Jump slash. You can also do 2 jump stabs, doesn't waste that much. This phase of the fight, he's going to go to 3 different platforms, and there's an easier way to force the objects by following this pattern. If you're too far away from him, the objects will not get forced across this hole in the ground, and it will actually explode. I'll try to demonstrate. See, I like that. Don't go too far right. Try to stay beneath this platform. Again, go to the right bit. When it's like head height, start forcing it. This final phase of the fight, you cannot deal 2 hearts of damage at a time, you have to wait. Having both players dropped in saves about 10 seconds for this final phase. You don't have to have them dropped in. I would suggest just doing it as a beginner, as it's a very good practice. I like to go to the left a bit just to position player 2. Then you drop in player 2 and start mashing B. You can also do a jump slash setup, kind of like lava, but I find that a bit hard. I don't like to just straight mash. I like to kind of do a rhythm, so the end lag of the lightsaber combo doesn't make me choke hitting him. I'm going to show the 1-player variant of this fight. It's not too much different. You're just going to have to spam Y or as soon as you're being forced. I don't like to attack him. I just like to jump around here. Oh, I didn't do a jump slash. Weird. That was a very delayed jump stab, but that worked. Time ends when you lose control of your character, meaning when this cutscene starts, and you're done. You be in the game. GG. When you're here, you don't have to save your game, because you're going to be doing another run anyway, so just save cancel. If you don't want to watch the credits, simply press Y on either controller. I put a lot of work into this tutorial series, so I hope it gets you into running the game. A thorough guide like this didn't really exist when I started. I hope it will help you, and have fun with your runs. I'd like to thank the entire community for making my stay since March 2019 an absolute blast. You guys are the best, and I am really excited to see what this game is going to be pushed to with all the newer players coming in the next year. Thank you all so much for watching. I'm Hydrus, and I will talk to you all later. Peace.